Joining us is Salveen Richter. She is the lead analyst for the U.S. biotech sector at Goldman Sachs. Joins us here on set. Salveen, welcome. It's great to have you.
Great. Thanks for having me.
So there's been a flurry of news and reports for us to work through here. Maybe, though, let's start with something that happened last week, and that was Alzheimer's and this approval with Biogen.
Yeah, so we saw the full approval, which was expected on the back of accelerated approval and the full data sets. And so at this point, both Biogen and Eisai are launching really kind of the key drug in the market for early Alzheimer's disease that impacts about 1.6 million people in the United States. And so we're going to be watching this launch as it plays out, first in the context of the demand, but also in terms of bottlenecks that may play out through infusion centers and limited, I guess, ability to get drug initially, but then through blood-based testing as well as a sub-Q formulation, meaning you won't have to use infusion centers, the ability to kind of really unleash this opportunity where we're looking at about 10,000 patients to be treated within the first year or by April of next year, and then 100,000 of patients in the U.S. to be treated over 3 years.
Okay. Meantime, there's another name that you have a buy on, and that's Moderna. And we saw a deal struck in China specifically for the Chinese populace. Why do you like this name right now? Why a buy?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Moderna, we've only seen the beginning of the story in light of what we saw with COVID and vaccines, and we're clearly seeing them expand beyond COVID to flu and RSV, and with this idea that you're going to create a bespoke vaccine for the global population. And now what we're seeing them do is move into other areas. So they had some really good data in cancer with cancer vaccines. We're going to get data from rare disease. We're going to get data from heart disease. We're going to get data in the lung with cystic fibrosis partnered with Vertex. So it's just going to be interesting to kind of watch this unlocking of a technology beyond the vertical that we all know.
Salveen, I'm looking at the VanEck Biotech ETF, and it's trading around where it was, I think, in May of 2020, just as we were starting to get that pandemic recovery, way off of its highs. What's the story now about what's going to power this whole area higher? How much investment is there in technology like AI to drive more efficiency, faster discovery? What should investors be thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many reasons why, biotech really rallied and you saw the market where it was and why it's come to the level that it is today. And there's macro factors. There's also the investments that came in during COVID that have exited the group. But when you look at the group overall, it's very bespoke and you have to pick your areas. So if you're going to look at the names that are going to be, benefit from what we've seen with AI and that convergence with healthcare, there are certain names that you would want to play where you think you could see proof of concept. So, for instance, in large cap biotech, Amgen could be one to kind of follow, given the acquisitions they've done with these biotech or tech bio companies, as well as the way they're thinking about integrating it in their platform. And I think NVIDIA highlighted them as one of the names to kind of follow within 3 areas.
What about in tools and diagnostics?
So in tools and diagnostics, I mean, we're watching to see where everything goes. But I guess we're looking at names like IQVIA to, with MedTech, Intuitive Surgicals. But there really is this idea that we're going to be able to better design drugs, reduce cost, impact efficiencies, and even use generative AI in aspects of better designing a trial design or creating personalized medicine. Perhaps you'll go to a doctor, and instead of a doctor really laying out for you and looking through data to decide what cardiovascular drug you may need, you may have a screen telling you what you should take.